gorgeous? Does that funk have you feeling stuck? Have you questioning your purpose, or even yet having you asking if your best years are behind you? Girl, you have zero obligation to stay in that funk. This podcast is for women who want to get the funk out of here, who want to play bigger, ask for more, and step out of mediocrity. Imagine a life filled with lots of energy, excitement, and filled with spunk instead of that funk. This is the After 40 Unfunk Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Crystal. Let's go! Hey, girlfriend, what's up? I hope your week has started off amazing. Don't you love when your week starts off great? It's like the beginning of the week momentum that carries you through the week. Momentum can make us feel amazing, energetic, and even feel like a superwoman. I believe it's one of those things we forget about. Like we have it stored away in our junk drawer, and we forget it's in there. I recall when I was first attempting to ride my bike up this stretch of mountain that other riders had labeled as Heart Attack Hill. While the heart attack part was accurate, it being called a hill is totally inaccurate. This part of the stretch felt like it looked straight up in the air. There wasn't a flat part within sight to recover from this crazy exertion of effort. So I attempted this probably 15 to 20 times and ended up only getting halfway up and then walking my bike the rest of the way. I would literally get halfway and couldn't even push the pedals down. My legs were toast. And yes, it did feel like I was about to have a heart attack. Then this man, he had to be over 70. He would watch my struggle and eventually told me I needed more momentum. He let me know that I was slowing up at this sharp turn that right when you turn the corner was this steep hill that I'm talking about, Heart Attack Hill. And at this sharp turn, I would actually slow up and thus kill my momentum. And I had never realized it. And probably subconsciously, it came from when I was a kid. I had a bike accident and knocked out my front teeth. And so perhaps subconsciously, I was being a little cautious. So with that said, the next time, I actually kept my momentum going. And I made it. I made it up to the top. And guess what? That little obstacle was in fact killing my momentum. After that, I finally was able to get up that stretch and enjoy the amazing sights on the other side of it. And then when I got to turn back around and ride down, it was the feeling of pride and total accomplishment. My point is that momentum can really take us to places we never knew we could get to. So when you're stuck or you're all funked up, perhaps you just need a little momentum. And now most of the things I share, you already know. I'm here to remind you that you have the tools, the skills, encourage you to use them and motivate or inspire you to take action with them, because then your action becomes intentional. Just like momentum, you have that in your tool belt. You have it as a skill to use. And you can actually manufacture your own momentum, even if it's not in your tool belt. It's not a new concept. One way to do this is to chunk it down, ladies. Chunk down your goals or your dreams or whatever is your destination. Chunk it down. Make the steps more manageable. An easy example is if, let's say, you want to lose 20 pounds. Chunk it down to goals of 5 pounds. And then when you reach each of those chunk down goals, celebrate it, girl. It can be something as simple as writing a love note to yourself in order to celebrate. Or in this instance, you could say 20 goes into 5 4 times, right? So ask 4 of your friends to text you a voice memo on why they are grateful for your friendship or just one nice thing about you. Then, when you reach each milestone, the 5 pounds, listen to each one of those recordings, but don't listen to them until you reach the milestone. It's so fun to have these little things to look forward to. And you can do it with anyone. It can be your spouse or your partner. By breaking down our goals into smaller chunks, it becomes more manageable. And my favorite, it allows us to celebrate more. Who doesn't love to celebrate? Many times you get all funked up because you're trying to be the Olympian long jumper, going for the gold medal without any momentum behind you. If you're like me, my jumps are better suited for hopscotch, girl. So instead of jumping for the whole kit and caboodle, play hopscotch. Take one step or jump at a time. Then you can step stack. All these steps will add up and start to create some momentum for you. It's hard to figure out which way to go unless you're in movement. Have you noticed that the closer you get to a goal, the harder you work to achieve it? I usually do this at the gym. If I'm on the stair climber, I will bump up the speed in the last 3 minutes. Psychologists call this a goal gradient. It is the term they use. Creating these small, chunky goals and accomplishing them create momentum. It keeps us in the game. Having momentum can also help us overcome obstacles faster. It's like the hurdle in the race. You just quickly jump over it without even thinking. And this momentum keeps us constantly and consistently improving ourselves. How awesome, right? It creates a trust in ourselves. Just like when we have that friend we call upon that we can trust in good or bad times, it's equally important to have that trust in yourself. Trust that you're going to show up for yourself and do the thing you said you were going to do. And when we have momentum, we have a deeper trust in ourselves. And now we know how to manufacture our own momentum. Let's be aware of the things that can kill momentum so we can jump over them like that hurdle when they come at us. There are many, but just to name a few, are things like procrastination, trying to do too many things at one time, aka multitasking, not having a clear direction, or just distractions in general. We can all relate to those. The general distractions are usually, they're the ones that get me because they're sneaky, meaning you or I rationalize them as part of being a mom or a wife or a partner, spouse. It's summertime, and I don't know about you, but my kids, along with others, spend more time together, and more time they spend together, the more little fights happen or arguments, and they seem to break out a little more often. I classify this as one of those general distractions that can kill momentum. We stop what we are doing to inject ourselves into the argument, to try and become the peacemaker, and in most cases, or at least in my house, I have learned that they can figure it out. I don't have to stop and kill my momentum for these petty things. And you want some good news? Dr. Ellen Hendrickson from Boston University Center for Anxiety and Related Disorders shared that you can take breaks too. She said that breaks done right will not kill your momentum. They can actually recharge you, boost your focus, and make you more excited, thus putting you right back on your momentum track. If you don't know where to start, review the things that interest you. Maybe you like to journal. And who knows, maybe your journal turns into your desire to write a book. Maybe you like to read. And perhaps that turns into your book club that grows as big as Oprah's. Just get some momentum taking action for you, for the future you. John Maxwell said, practice today what you want to be tomorrow. If you do it well enough, someday you may arrive at your dream. He's right, you know. Keep practicing. Get some momentum behind your practicing. Hey, it won the Denver Nuggets the NBA championships. Go Denver. Go to your junk drawer and pull out your momentum. Where could you use this momentum right now? Where would it best serve you or serve others? One of my favorite characters is Dory from Finding Nemo. She wasn't the smartest fish in the sea, nor was she the strongest fish or the wisest fish. But we can learn a lot from her. She just kept swimming. She used momentum in every scene and just kept swimming. Now chunk down those goals. Celebrate the small runs. Jump over the hurdles and just keep swimming. Your momentum is only a decision away. Okay, girl, we got this. It's time to manufacture your own momentum. Let's go. And just for the legal mumbo jumbo, this podcast is only for educational and inspirational purposes. It is not to be used for professional help, such as medical, psychological, psychoanalyst. Again, this podcast is for motivational and educational purposes only. Before you go, Superwoman, I'd love it if you took a little action for me. Like, subscribe to my podcast and leave a review. Also, share the episode with a friend. And as a thank you, hit up my website to crystalsumner.com, thecrystalsumner.com, to grab free journal prompts. Okay, ladies, Now is the time to go on Funk Your Mind, play bigger, and ask for more. Open the door to possibility and cancel playing small. So get